All right, Tony, thank you so much for being with us here today. If you could you just give us a little introduction, who you are, what state you're in, what school you work for, and your role there?
My name is Tony Crafa. I am the assistant principal at St. Joseph Catholic School in Tampa, Florida. I have been at this school for 12 years. I've been in education for 12 years, 10 as a teacher, 4 as an administrator, which I know doesn't add up to 12, but that's sort of how these things go, I guess. We use NWEA map testing. We use the math, reading, and language modules for second grade and up. And then for the kindergartners and first graders, we do the math and the reading for the younger ones.
So I guess my next question would be, what signaled to you that you needed or wanted supplemental instruction for your students and teachers?
So as a school goal, we have to improve reading and math scores. We have benchmarks that we want to meet. And what we found, as I'm sure we're finding everywhere, is that we have kids at the 90-something percentile. We have kids at the 20-something percentile. We tell teachers they have to differentiate and they have to have their lessons match the ability levels of every one of their students. We talk a lot about group work and about leveling activities, about guided reading activities and those types of things. But that's a lot of responsibility on teachers. It's really difficult for the teachers. So one thing we wanted to do is we wanted some software that would help the teachers do some of that work for them. We wanted something to create an individual learning plan for the kids based on their scores to take some of that load off of the teacher's hands and provide them the time to be able to spend doing their planning and grading and communicating with parents.
So my next question would be, did you already know what you were looking for when you set out your search, or was it more of a learn as you go type of thing?
We knew what we were looking for. We knew we wanted something that would take, we already use NWEA map testing. We use it to form groups. We use it to inform instruction. We use it to communicate with parents. We use it as goal set with students. We use it quite a bit. And we use things like the class breakdown and the learning continuum to create activities for each different leveled group. But that's a ton of work for teachers. We wanted it to be easy for the teachers to use. We wanted something that they wouldn't have to stress over at night. That would be automatic and they would have the kids log in. They just have to do a couple of clicks and get started. We wanted to make it as teacher friendly as possible and something as individualized for the kids as possible.
So in that same vein, what would you say was the ultimate must-have for you?
Something that would seamlessly incorporate the NWA map data into individualized learning plans, and that the teachers would not have to spend hours or even minutes doing that data import. And that would be automatically, and the kids could log on easily and get started with the assignments.
So when you first decided to try out Classworks, how did you organize it? Could you speak to that at all?
We had a meeting with the representatives from Classworks. She gave us some login information. We distributed that to a couple of teachers who we thought would be receptive to being able to use technology effectively. We had those teachers go through the data, give us some feedback. What did they like about it? What they didn't like about it? What kind of questions do we need to ask our representative before we were able to make a final decision?
What was the final decision that led to purchase?
Well, the final decision came as a result of a sort of a series of factors. It met the criteria that we were looking for in terms of importing data and creating individualized learning plans. We plan on using Classworks school-wide from kindergarten up to 8th grade. We want it for every student. We primarily, when we set out, some of the kids we were targeting was some of the enrichment kids, because those are sometimes the kids in the regular classroom setting you can't quite get at, but we wanted something to differentiate for every single student that the teacher did not have to do on their own.
How have you gone about working that into your schedule for each individual student?
So we are working it into our schedule in a few different ways. Every class is a 45-minute lab period that is dedicated to the use of Classworks. Our technology teacher, in addition to a class or two a week of data entry and typing and coding and those types of things, has one class dedicated to Classworks. In the classrooms themselves, they have a set of Chromebooks, not a complete class set, but enough for a group, and they should be doing an additional 45 minutes cumulatively throughout the course of the week.
You mentioned earlier that your goal was to have it individualizing for every single student. Are you starting at every single student, or is it a particular group of students?
We have started with the older students, so 8th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade. We don't pick a particular group of students in that particular class. Instead, we're trying to do it one class at a time.
What's your goal moving forward with Classworks? What do you hope to see?
So our goal going forward is we want to see growth in math and reading. We want to see above and beyond what we've seen prior. We've had success with using NWA MAP testing in grouping and targeted and differentiated instruction and those types of supports. We are hoping that Classwork can provide the next boost, not only for kids that are struggling, but kids that are in that forgotten middle and the kids that are excelling, so that they all have learning plans that target what it is that they need.
All right, Tony, thank you again so much. You have helped us out immensely.
Okay, not a problem. I hope you have a good rest of the day.
You as well. Thank
Okay.
you.